I can't believe it's almost time for summer to be over, and I'm a summer person, so I'm going to hold on to this as long as I can. But with school starting back, I thought it'd be a good idea to invite you into our kitchen and show you what we eat in a week. I don't have school age children, but I do work full time outside of the home, so easy to prepare and fast dinners in the evening is one of my favorite things. So this week we looked at hamburger steak one of the nights, and this one is just an easy skillet hamburger steak, and the goal is just you use one pan, you don't get a bunch of dishes dirty, and you can put it in the oven versus the stove top so that you really can kind of set it and then go into the evening and enjoy some sunshine or whatever it is that you have planned. So start with hamburger steak, of course. So I use about 1 pound of ground beef, and this makes 3 hamburger steaks. One is smaller because I have a toddler, so you obviously want to do more for more people. I use a medium onion, a white one. I just slice it. I also slice green bell pepper and put those in the bottom of the skillet. On top of it, I do sliced mushrooms, usually 1 container, and then add butter, steak sauce, salt, pepper. You can leave out the steak sauce if you want, just put butter on top so that you hold in some of the moisture. And then you can add any kind of steak sauce that you want if you do like that added flavor. If you add steak sauce, I would add just a little bit of salt because you don't want to make it too rich in sodium. Today we did a side of zucchini and squash. In the winter, I'll do more of like mashed potatoes with this, and in the fall, more like root vegetables, sweet potatoes, things like that. I do kind of miss, the way a cast iron skillet makes hamburger steak on the stovetop is kind of like a crusty outer layer, and you kind of don't get that with this. So I'll broil it for the last few minutes to try to get that same effect. I also thought it'd be cool to show you how I make my child's plate. I talk a lot about, toddler nutrition and how to prevent kids from being picky, but sometimes it's great to see this actually in action. So she gets the same food that we get. I'll just do smaller pieces. It's important to make their plate a lot smaller in terms of how much food they have to eat to have a quote unquote clean plate. And we don't make her do a clean plate. I'm just saying for her to feel like she's made a dent in it, I just add less food, and then she can always ask for more, right? So that way, when you put a whole plate of food down in front of them, it might be overwhelming. And so I'll pull some of this to the side and then save it for another meal or usually her lunch the next day. So I don't make her eat everything. I just have her eat the same things that we eat. And then I went ahead after dinner and took her leftovers and put them in her lunchbox for the next day. And then we used to always joke, like, if you don't eat it, that's okay. You'll see this tomorrow, because I pack her lunch for the next day. Now, she doesn't always eat it all at lunch either. But again, I'm responsible for giving her the choices, and she's responsible for eating it or not. So I added some extra green vegetables here. These are cucumbers, and then I think blackberries as well, just to kind of round out the meal and give her some of her favorites that I know she'll eat. I know she'll always eat cucumbers. She'll always eat berries. So then I don't have to worry as much about her not eating some of the other stuff. I put some ketchup on there so she could dip it, and then she was good to go. For the next meal, I'd like to sometimes check out our garden and see what we've got. We had a lot of tomatoes, so we went with it. This is actually the last of the tomatoes. They're not doing that great now. It's just so hot in Alabama right now. And so they kind of just need some moisture, but they're looking a little slim. But this day we had a lot of them. And so I took cucumbers, tomato, and this is dill that I put in a bowl and chopped it up. I'm copying one of our favorite salads that I like to get at work, actually at a place in town called Hero Donuts. And it's a donut shop, but they have one of the best salads for lunch. So I did good rancher chicken in the air fryer, and while that was in the air fryer, I went ahead and assembled the salads, and I just put some lettuce on the bottom, obviously, for the bulk of the salad. I usually wash my own to save money, chop my own lettuce, but I don't like wet lettuce, and we're in a hurry a lot, and so I really have found these pre-washed lettuces just really helpful. Same thing with the kid plate. I am making it on a smaller plate this time, and I'm just spreading everything out. So she'll eat a salad, but instead of adding them all together so it looks kind of overwhelming, I just put them all separate. Well, what's funny is she actually puts them all on her fork, and so she eats the same things in a bite that you or I would in the salad, but she kind of piece it together herself. But then it also gives her the ability to see everything that's going on her plate, and she happens to love all these things individually except for actually lettuce. This night was the first night she actually ate lettuce well, and so I count that as a win as well. I made the buffalo sauce, which was just Frank's hot sauce. You could use any hot sauce for this. Sorry, kid hands. And then butter. I melted the butter and put that Frank's hot sauce in there. I added garlic, salt, and pepper to that. And then that was it for the sauce. While the air fryer was still going, I put this bacon that was left over from breakfast on Saturday on top of the salad. And this just is really important for the flavor because we ran out the next day when I made the salad and this for lunch, and the bacon made a difference. So add it if you have it. And so then once the chicken was finished, I just added it to the buffalo sauce and tossed it, and then shredded cheese and put that on top. It's a little out of order here, but this is the finished product. And my kid actually ate this entire plate this time, so I count that as a win. Next up, we did sofrito baked chicken, and this is literally just any kind of baked chicken. I actually just put this in the refrigerator. I made all this the same night I made another meal, and I put it in the refrigerator just so my husband, who's usually home before me, can just slide it in the oven. So it's sofrito because there's a sofrito from Trader Joe's that is so good, and they don't always have it, but they do have it right now. So I stocked up on a couple of them, and it's just an Italian seasoning. And so I put that on the chicken with some avocado oil, and you could obviously use olive oil as well, and then of course salt and pepper. And this is very basic. I didn't have any lemon juice. I would add lemon juice if I did. I have since actually bought a jar of just organic lemon juice that I keep in the refrigerator because I regularly had lemons and then they would go bad and I wouldn't have it when I needed it. So I did that, and then instead I needed an acid, so I just put balsamic vinegar on this time. I had some leftover pre-cut vegetables from Hungry Root that I needed to use. I did Hungry Root for a couple of weeks. I enjoyed it. Honestly, as a working person, I like the idea of getting Hungry Root meals delivered and then taking them to work so I don't have to pack myself lunch, because by the time I pack my kids' lunch and my husband's lunch, I usually end up grabbing like a perfect bar. But that doesn't work all the time, and so I like the idea of just having them deliver for lunch. I don't mind sourcing my own groceries and then chopping my own groceries, so that's not really a huge time saver for me. So I didn't keep doing Hungry Root. I may go back, I don't know, but just wanted to give you a breakdown. I put this all in the fridge, and then we would eat the next day. You can just bake it for 40 minutes, and then I like to sprinkle feta cheese on top. Speaking of cheese, not feta, we actually use goat cheese for this, but breakfast for dinner is something I don't do a ton. But when my husband's not home early, and it might be just me and my kiddo for dinner, I like to do something super easy, and eggs are always a win with her. So I went to the garden checkout. We had basil. We actually had some more tomatoes too. So I made this goat cheese, basil, and tomato omelet. It ended up being scrambled eggs, and it was delicious and super easy. All right, finally Friday, crockpot Mexican chicken. This was so easy to put in the crockpot. It's a whole thing of cilantro, some salsa, and then really just limes and some chicken broth. It is so easy and so good. It tastes like the Mexican restaurant. My sister-in-law actually made this first, and that was like 2 years ago, and I've been making it ever since. After it cooks in the crock pot all day, it shreds like the Mexican shredded chicken. And from there, you can literally do tacos. We'll do tacos one night, and then I might make enchiladas for the next one. It's really a versatile meat that can be ready. And you could even take this and make a taco soup out of it if you wanted to. I mean, your opportunities are just endless with this one. So definitely need a Mexican night to keep things super simple. And this one does not disappoint. You need a lot of limes. I like 4 of them because I like the flavor. But it's a win for sure. I hope you liked this video, and more importantly, I hope you found these recipes useful and something that will help make your weeknight easier. If you're new around here, I'm Rainey, a registered dietitian and lactation consultant. I make videos about childhood nutrition, lactation, and also ways to just make working moms' lives easier. If that sounds like something you're interested in, be sure to like this video and subscribe to this channel and share it with a working mom who needs a little meal inspo.